Well, what's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I've got some very entertaining battles to show you in the Open Great League, running a team consisting of Noctowl in the lead, Purified Machoke and Purified XL level 50 Machop. And this team was actually extremely fun to run. Of course, we've got the two Purified Pokemon in the back there. You don't often see Purified Pokemon other than Sableye, but Purified is definitely the better form for these two Pokemon, because otherwise they only learn fighting type moves, meaning that they have absolutely zero coverage against fairy types and flying types, for example. But with the return nuke, they can actually hit for absolutely huge damage against a ton of different Pokemon. Unfortunately, they are both walled by ghost types because ghosts double resist both fighting and normal type damage, but that is why I'm running Noctowl in the lead to absolutely hard wall those ghost types that might otherwise be a threat for my back line. Now this functions as a typical ABB style team, so if we don't see the ghost type in the lead, then we're probably going to switch into the Machop as the safe swap. We're running cross chop on the Machop so that we can spam moves a little bit faster, and then I'm running dynamic punch on the Machoke so it has a little bit better closing capabilities. I do actually have a Purified Machoke that I've used an Elite TM on to get cross chop, but I think in this case, because I'm running it with the Machop as well, I'm just going to run the dynamic punch. So before we start with the battles, let's get into the question of the day. What's the weirdest XL Pokemon you've invested in? This doesn't have to be specifically for Great League, and also it doesn't have to be a level 50 Pokemon, but any Pokemon that requires XL candies to be powered up to the CP that you're using it at in any of the Great, Ultra, or even I guess the Open Master League, because there certainly are some sort of weird Pokemon you could choose to invest in rather than the typical meta Pokemon. But let me know in the comments what's the weirdest XL Pokemon you've invested in, and tell me why you invested in it. And with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so we're entering the first battle here. We lead Noctowl into Shadow Drapion, so this is a fairly neutral match, so I'm going to switch into the Machop here. They're staying in. They also throw after 5 Poison Stings, so it's just a crunch. We can tank it, although that still did about 50% of our health. We go for the return. Do they respect it? They don't, and boom, we take out the Shadow Drapion here, and we're in a very good position. I'm going for the cross chop here. Opponent throws after 5 mud shots, so it's a CMP tie, and we win CMP and we get the shield. My opponent is absolutely flustered right now. They shield a cross chop from the Machop. We win the switch advantage here. I'm going to come in with Noctowl here. I don't have to shield up. I'm going to go for a Shadow Ball, as it does do slightly more damage and a Sky Attack will not KO. They actually shield it up, so I'm going to instantly switch into Machoke here. My opponent switches into a Scrafty, and we're in an extremely good position right now. I don't have to shield anything here. I'm going to farm all the way up to the Dynamic Punch back to back. Go for the first one here against the Scrafty. Boom, we take out the Scrafty. One more up against this Swampert here. And boom, we take out the Swampert, and we take that game with a 2 shield flex as well. Into the next game, we lead into a Galvantula, so not a good lead. I'm going to instantly switch into the Machop here. They go for the move straight away. I'm going to call that they're baiting with a lunge. And that's exactly what they do. We do resist it, but once again, we are very low in health. We're going straight for the return here against the Galvantula, and boom, we take them out again, even with the debuffed attack. And once again, now that we know we win CMP up against the Swampert here, I'm going to go for 5 Karate Chops, go for the cross chop. This time we don't get a shield, but that doesn't matter. We're in a very similar position to the previous game here. They come in with the Registeel here, and I have a very good counter in Machoke. Unfortunately, they get to the move just before we get to our move, but they go for the Focus Blast, so they do not debuff our attack, meaning a Dynamic Punch from this range should take them out. We get the shield from the Registeel. I'm going to go for the second Dynamic Punch straight away, forcing their second shield straight away as well. We get the shield. Opponent goes for the move here, and I am expecting that they're going to try and make a catch. So I'm not going to throw the Dynamic Punch straight away. I farm extra. I come in with the Noctowl here, and we should be in a very comfortable position now. As long as we don't lag, we're going to be able to get to a Sky Attack here, take out the Swampert, and then it doesn't really matter because I have a move loaded to take out the Registeel. Opponent throws at the perfect timing there, making sure that I don't quite get to a charge move, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to get to the dynamic punch here, but instead I go for the return, and we take out the Registeel with the disrespectful BM there. Into the next game, we lead into a Stunfisk, so we just are not having some good leads at the moment. We switch into the Machop, and unfortunately we're met with a Sableye. So Sableye is actually part dark typing, so it only single resists the fighting type moves here. So these cross chops will add up over time. We go for the second cross chop here, and I'm thinking that if we can get to a third cross chop, then we might be able to take him out. I'm actually going to shield this up. It's just a foul play, but I go for the cross chop here against the Sableye once again. We should be getting a shield now, and we do. My opponent is trying to farm us down, but I get to another cross chop, and are they going to expend both shields? No, we flip switch advantage against a greedy Sableye there. So that is perfect. Now I can align the Stunfisk with my Machoke. They try to catch a move, so I'm going to farm up a ton of energy and then switch to catch their Frenzy Plant on the Noctowl here, and at this point we are in a very good position here. They're going to get to the move at the same time that I get to the Sky Attack, but that does not matter. We can tank a Sludge Bomb. Sorry, a plane just flew over my house, so apologies for that loud noise. And we undercharge that, we farm them down, and we're going to throw a move here. Actually, no, we're not. We're just going to let this go through, and we should be able to get to the back-to-back. Oh, actually, they undercharged that. I'm going to throw the Shadow Ball here just to kill the timer so that now I can switch out. I've got the back-to-back dynamic punches now, so we're going to shield this. They can't go for a Rock Slide and immediately after throw an Earthquake, so I am guaranteed to win this now. We get the first shield, and then we go for the dynamic punch to take out the Stunfisk here, and we take that game. So GG's to that opponent. Into the next game, we lead Noctowl into Alolan Ninetales. Now, I didn't realise this at the time, but this is the team that rise to the occasion, featured on his channel a few days ago, well, probably a week ago by the time I upload this. But yeah, I didn't realise it, but unfortunately it's a double ghost team, but it's got Alolan Ninetales in the lead. So once I sort of figure that maybe I need to switch out, yeah, unfortunately they've got Sableye, and once again we're going to go for the cross chops here, as they will do more damage than, or more DPE than the return will. They go for the move straight away. It is a foul play, so I do live that, but unfortunately I'm not in a very good position here. And I think at this point I realise that it probably is a double ghost team. So I am going to come in with the Machoke instead. And they do have to go for a return here to take me out, so I'm going to shield this up. And unfortunately we get baited. I've also just realised that this Sableye isn't fully powered up yet, so hopefully a return doesn't KO. But it does, and boom, we're taken out there. They come into a Trevenant here, but it doesn't matter. The Alolan Ninetales has a charge move loaded, so there's not a lot I can do here. I go for the move here, hoping that for whatever reason they don't throw a Shadow Ball. But that's exactly what they do, and they take us out, even though we have the best answer to Trevenant in Noctowl. So unfortunately there are some games that you just cannot win because of the team composition, but here we have a good lead, and my opponent switches out into Umbreon trying to catch the Shadow Ball, but that is perfectly fine. I did not intend on throwing. I come in with the Machoke here because I think that one dynamic punch will be enough so that I can farm down the Umbreon. And that looks like it's going to be the case. We saw that the last resort did less than 50%, so we should be able to tank another one and fully commit to the Karate Chop. Farm down. Now I'm going to go for a return here. Both moves are double resisted, but I think return probably does slightly more damage. It doesn't really matter though, that did absolutely nothing to Jellicent, but that is fine. I'm going to come in with the Noctowl here, go for one wing attack and then go for the Sky Attack, and we get a shield, which is perfect. It's exactly what I wanted. They throw the move here, so I get a full wing attack through. They go for a Bubble Beam, which is fine by me. They go for another Bubble Beam here, and they switch into the Medicham, so I'm actually going to stay in for a little bit, force them to throw a Power Up Punch. I was actually going to try and catch the Ice Punch on the Machop, but they're running Power Up Punch, so that is perfectly fine. They're going straight for another Power Up Punch against them, the Machop here, so once again, perfectly fine by me. I'm going to go for the return. This will do huge damage to the Medicham if they don't shield, which they don't, and oh my god, we nearly took them out, but that is perfectly fine. We get the wing attack through here. I am going to shield this because it will now do more than a Bubble Beam, but we're in a very good position now. I'm going straight for the Shadow Ball, no need to bait, and we take out the Jellicent there, and we take that game. Into the next game, we lead Noctowl into Wall Rain, so not a very good lead. I'm going to switch into the Machop, and I'm met with a Charm, a load of Ninetales, so this is not great. We're going for the return. Can we flip this matchup with landing the return? No, we cannot. It barely doesn't take them out, and that is unfortunate because I think they're probably running double Charm here. I'm not going to shield this up because I think Icicle Spear from a Shadow Wall Rain will do more damage. Now I'm just hoping that I can get to a Sky Attack before they can throw the Icicle Spear just to chip them a little bit. But unfortunately it's a CMP tie. Wall Rain wins CMP against the Noctowl. I can't shield this. I'm going to come in with the Machoke and they've got a Shadow Grand Ball. So we are absolutely screwed. So unfortunately they're not able to flip the mid-game matchup and we just lose based on team composition. But into the next game here, we're leading into an Altaria. So I've played this a few times and I figured that going for double Sky Attack isn't the best play because in the no shield scenario they will survive. So I'm going to go for a Sky Attack here and then go for a Shadow Ball, but actually it takes one more wing attack than I thought it would and we lose CMP to the Altaria here, which is not good at all. I come in with the Machop hoping that I can get to a Cross Chop and I would be able to take it out before they throw a move, but looking at the health I don't think Cross Chop would take them out there. So instead I farm up a ton of energy, switch into Machoke, and unfortunately just about able to Karate Chop, farm them down before they get to another move, and now they come in with Scrafty. This is a very good matchup for me. I get the first shield there with the Dynamic Punch. I'm going to let this move go through. It's just a Power Up Punch, and now I can go for another Dynamic Punch, get the second shield from the Scrafty, or take them out, and I'm pretty confident that whatever is in the back is also weak to fighting type moves. So they go for the Power Punch here. I think Cross Chop barely won't take them out and I still don't know what is in the back. So I go for the return. Boom, we take out the Scrafty and now they come in with a Galarian Stunfisk. We have a shield here and as long as 2 Cross Chops can KO, we should be in a very comfortable position. I'm over farming just a little bit, seeing how much this Cross Chop will do. Oh, that's easily going to take them out, so I go for the second Cross Chop straight away and we take out the Stunfisk. So even though I really badly misplayed that lead matchup, fortunately I had a very good team comp for my opponent in the back. Into the next game, we lead into yet another Jellicent. We're going to go for the Shadow Ball. Actually, they're going to throw a move before us. And it's an Ice Beam, so this Jellicent is not running Bubble Beam, they're running Ice Beam, which makes this matchup a lot trickier, but we still do comfortably tank that Ice Beam, and their fast moves are doing absolutely nothing to Noctowl because we double resist them. I get both shields from the Jellicent, but I do need to maintain this Noctowl's health because we cannot touch the Jellicent with either Pokemon in the back, so I'm forced to double shield here. And my opponent tries to catch the move, so I stay in for a little bit. I come in with my Machop here. I know that I can tank any move from the Scrafty. They actually go for the foul play, which I think probably is the correct play. I'm going for a Cross Chop here. Now we're going to see how much damage it does to the Scrafty. It barely doesn't take him out, but that is fine. I'm expecting the Jellicent to come in and farm me down, but actually it's a Nidoqueen, and unfortunately I'm not able to get to the return here. I have to settle for a Cross Chop. I come in with the Machoke here, my opponent switches out, so I instantly switch into the Noctowl, go for the Shadow Ball, and we take out the Jellicent there. Sorry, my throat is hurting a little bit there. They go for a Poison Fang so that they don't have to take a Sky Attack. We go for the return. I think it's a CMP tie. Is this enough to take out the Nidoqueen? Yes, it is, and we take that game. Into the next game, we lead into a Galarian Stunfisk, so yet another bad lead. I'm going to switch into the Machop here. They come in with an Azumarill. I'm going for the return just before they get to a Play Rough. And we land it, and it does about 50% to Azumarill, and Azumarill is extremely tanky. I'm going to shield this up. It is a Play Rough, so they're probably running Play Rough and Hydro Pump because you probably would just bait with an Ice Beam if you're Azumarill. I go for the Cross Chop and they no shield it, which is unfortunate. It means I have to use both my shields here whilst Azumarill hasn't used a single shield here. I go for another Cross Chop. Once again they don't shield, and this time they're coming in to the Stunfisk here. So I'm going for a cross chop, I get a shield from them, and I'm going to force them to throw their energy, but I don't think they're going to go for an earthquake at this range. They go for the rock slide, so I'm able to tank that. I switch into the Machoke here. We should be able to tank an earthquake from full health, but they're running muddy water. What is going on? I've seen a few people running muddy water now. Is this now a thing? Is it a thing to run Stunfisk with muddy water as the charge move? I don't think so, but I've seen it a few times. Unfortunately, they get to a move just before I get to my charge move, but muddy water does absolutely nothing. They come back in with a Azumarill. I overfarm as much as I can, go for the dynamic punch here. This will easily take out the Azumarill, and they come in with a Whiscash. So the good thing here is that Noctowl is so bulky that I can come in here and easily tank a Blizzard. They do get to the Blizzard just before I get to a Sky Attack, but Blizzard doesn't take me out. I'm actually going for the Shadow Ball because, like I said, it does slightly more damage than Sky Attack, meaning I'm going to be able to farm down the Whiscash here. They come back in with the Stunfisk. I'm not going to be able to get to the Shadow Ball, so I go straight for the Sky Attack here. This will do a decent amount of resisted damage. They get to the charge move there on the CMP tie, which is perfect. And now I can come in with either Pokemon and just one fast move, Karate Chop, farm down the Stunfisk, and I take that game. Into the next game, we lead into a Medicham, so this is exactly where we want to see it, but unfortunately this matchup can be very tricky, especially if they're running Power Up Punch. Now they go for a Power Up Punch there, so that was a good call by me to no shield it, but unfortunately they're going to be able to ramp up their damage and really do a lot of damage with these counters. I'm actually going to shield this up, and it's an Ice Punch, so they're running Power Up Punch and Ice Punch, which is not something you see every day, but a very important shield there, because otherwise a ramped up Medicham is going to run through my back line. We shield up another Power Up Punch, and I'm just barely able to get to the Sky Attack here. So a super close matchup considering I have a type advantage against the Medicham. Unfortunately, they have a Sableye in the back, so we're not looking to be in a great position. I go for the Dynamic Punch here. This will do a lot of resisted damage. It actually does nearly half of their health. My opponent goes for the return. They take me out, but I'm going to come in with the Machop here, and hopefully I can farm them down after a cross chop before they get to the second return. We go for the cross chop here. How much damage is this going to do to the Sableye? Not quite enough, but can we get to the move? Nope, they get to the move before us, but it's just a foul play. That is perfect. I'm able to Karate Chop, farm them down, and they have a Bastiodon in the back. So we are now going to be able to take out a Bastiodon with my Machop. Absolutely easy matchup here. We're going to overfarm a ton just for no reason whatsoever. Go for the cross chop against the Bastiodon, and we take them out and we take that game. Now going into the next battle, we lead Noctowl into Stunfisk. So we just saw so many Stunfisk leads with this team. I don't really know what was going on. I hadn't seen too many of them in the lead previously, but that's just how it goes sometimes, and unfortunately we're met with Trevenant here. Trevenant, absolute hard wall to both my Pokemon in the back, so it's a good thing I bait it out here. Also, the good thing about this team is that I can come in with Noctowl and fully farm down the Trevenant, and I don't have to fear about any of the charge moves that Trevenant throws, because they are resisted. They go for the Shadow Ball. It does absolutely nothing to Noctowl. They're going to go for one more move. Actually, no, they lag a little bit, but I'm not sure that makes too much of a difference anyway. My opponent comes in with Wall Rain this time, which means that they are double weak to my Machoke in the back. I'm going for the Shadow Ball. I actually get a shield from the Wall Rain. I'm going straight for a Sky Attack, and at this point I'm just going to let Wall Rain throw its energy, I think. Yep, I'm going to let them throw here. I should still be able to survive this, so I'm going to switch out instantly into the Machoke. My opponent switches into the Stunfisk. I'm going for the Dynamic Punch here. This should do a lot of damage to the Stunfisk. It nearly takes them out, and at this point I'm going to shield whatever they throw. They won't be able to get to a Rock Slide and an Earthquake. Unfortunately it is a Rock Slide, but I'm able to farm them down before they get to the Earthquake, and at this point we should be golden because I can go for a Dynamic Punch here. We can tank one Icicle Spear, so I'm going to let this first one go through. I don't want to be baited with an Icicle Spear and then take an Earthquake. And I'm just barely able to get to the Dynamic Punch here, and this will take out the Wall Rain, and I take that game. So going into the final battle here, we lead Noctowl into Talonflame. So this is where we want to see it really. Unfortunately, weak connection, but I don't think it matters too much. I go for the Sky Attack straight away. This is one turn before the Talonflame reaches the Flame Charge. They go for it straight away, so I get an extra Wing Attack through. It is just a Flame Charge, so that's good, and I'm going to go for the Sky Attack. Actually no, I'm going to overfarm here because I know that I can go for 2 more Wing Attacks, go for a Sky Attack, and then I should be able to get to 1 more Sky Attack if they do shield here, which is exactly what they do, and I go for the Sky Attack just before the damage registered from the Incinerate, and I take out the Talonflame and I have a shield advantage. What I should have done here was switch out because both my Pokemon in the back are practically exactly the same, so I just gave Swampert a ton of energy for no reason. I'm going to tank the Hydro Cannon here. My opponent tries to catch a move on Venusaur. I go for the return here. This is going to do huge damage to the Venusaur. Boom, we nearly take him out. Now I'm going to switch into the Machop, shield up this Frenzy Plant as it will do more than a Hydro Cannon. And I'm going to Karate Chop, farm down the Venusaur. They go for the Hydro Cannon straight away, so I know this is definitely not an Earthquake. I tank it because Machop is a tanky boss. And we go for the return against the Swampert. And boom, we take him out there. So we land the double return nukes there to win that final match. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day for a chance at a shout out in my next video. And if you want to see more videos like this and you're not yet subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button, as I will be making a ton more GBL videos now that I am feeling better and I'm not as ill as before. And with that being said, let's get into the shout outs from my previous video. So first we've got Shy Plays YouTube, who says, definitely Ambipom with Hyper Beam, wasn't expecting it and it almost one-shot my Azu with nearly full HP. So that is pretty hilarious, to nearly one-shot one of the bulkiest Pokemon in the Great League with a random Spice pick. So yeah, definitely a very spicy opponent there. Next we've got Raghav Gupta, who says that they faced a Shadow Exploud once, and against an Umbreon they landed a Disarming Voice which hit for so much damage. So that's the thing about these spicy Pokemon that you don't normally see. You have no idea what movesets they could be running because you're not prepared for them, so they can sometimes surprise you with massive hard-hitting charge moves. And finally we've got Matt J155, who says they once faced a Ninjask and lost. So we've all been there, we've faced up against a really spicy team and we expect to roll over their team, but somehow they still beat us even with the most random Pokemon on their team. So definitely been there before. So with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video and I hope you have a great rest of your day.